everyone, this is Anne from Odulcina. I'm using the labels fabric to create a little cluster. I've been adding some embroideries. These are just French knots. So I have a whole playlist for those who are new to my channel to learn all the embroideries. But right now it's just a little short that I'm reusing to show you how I've created the cluster, and then from this cluster we're gonna create a whole junk journal cover. So I wanted to show the whole process from how I start a project and how it ends up, especially the fabric, which are meant to be used with little stitches, embroideries, or just as is, because you could use under the embroidered flowers, there's a flower, a pink flower in the design. So I added more flowers with embroideries, but you could just have the fabric by itself and do the same thing. I'm using just scraps, some sewing that could be just gluing, and I did this cluster. And then from this, I thought it's interesting to know how to do a cluster like that, but more than that, now what we do with a cluster like that. So I've been using my favorite junk journal cover, which is an Amazon envelope. Those envelopes that are with the craft paper, they make the perfect sound. This envelope was just too big, so I cut it, and then I'm gonna fold the sides because the sides are really thin. So folding the sides like I'm doing will help. And then I'm gonna cover it with fabric just so we don't see the writing in black, like the big contrast, and then I can work with it. So this video will be the whole process of doing the junk journal cover. Of course, I'm editing that video, I'm cutting the lengths, and I'm doing like a move for faster mode in some parts of it. But so you can see, but you'll understand the whole thing. So I'm covering with an old bed sheet that I took from a thrift store, and I'm trimming and I did the sewing. So for the sewing, my favorite option is always to go 2 or 3 times around and sewing the straight line not straight at all, and some parts doing a little zigzag, and it kind of does the charm, I find. So I didn't like this bottom part that was a little bit too long, but the tearing followed the cotton thread, and now I can see a little bit of the envelope. Don't worry, I'm gonna hide this all. It's always, there's no mistake in junk journals, especially in the shabby chic and in the grungy and everything. You can always add more layers, leave it like that as well. It's the imperfection that makes it so cute somehow. There's a limit to the imperfections, but all right. So you can see that now I'm using the little cluster that I've been creating to create a pocket. And now I'm gonna add more layers to decorate this white envelope that is now with the fabric. This is just a paper, an old paper piece that I've been adding some modeling paste. And I kind of tend to use only fabric and laces when I'm creating a junk journal cover, but I want to get a little bit more into mixing the papers and the fabric and the embroideries and the laces. So this is what I'm trying to do with this junk journal cover. Isn't it gorgeous already? But of course, we cannot leave it like that. So I need a little bit of laces. So I'm just figuring out a little bit what I want. And that lace could be placed there. I tend to work on the flat surface, but I regularly fold the cover into two to make sure that it looks good with the proportion on where the fold will be, because when we're going to look at the end result product, we're going to only see the cover or the back cover, not the whole thing like I'm working on right now, the flat mode. So I had two pieces of that pink fabric with embroideries. My mom gave me that 2 weeks ago. She got it, I don't know where, but it's coming from a clothing or a bed sheet that she recovered, and she thought these are my colors. She brought them to me. And yeah, of course, this is awesome. So this is how it works. 4 years ago, when I discovered the junk journals, I had no inventory at all of sewing and laces. And just by talking to my family, my friends, and people around me, I got so many gifts and little pieces cute like that that I would have never thought my mom has, or that someone could give that to me. So if you're a beginner, just spread the word around you of what you're looking for, and you'll be surprised. I've been amazed on how many things my mom gave me. And my mom is not a crafty person, in the sense she's totally not the same style than me. She's sewing, but she's sewing just practical things, changing a zip, or reducing a pant. She's not artistic like me, but she's really happy to get things for me when she sees them in a thrift store or whatever. And I bet it will be the same for you. A friend, your mom, your cousin, whoever. So here I'm gonna use, I glued a piece of paper, the tracing paper, just to add a little bit more sound. And I'm using an Enki that I found at the thrift store. And on the left, it's a pillowcase that had some embroideries. So I just want to keep the embroideries. That fabric is yellowish. And the worst is that this pillowcase is kind of brand new, but it has never been used. It was folded in a bag, and it became yellowish, kind of. Anyway, in my jug journal, it's perfect. So what I want to do is I want to place them correctly, and then I'm gonna do a sewing with the black thread like I did on the cover to attach them together. And then I just need to glue them to the cover with the fabric tack. So I didn't want it to do the stitching through the whole cover, because the front of my cover is done and I didn't want new threads to be showing on the other side. So that's why I did the sewing only on the fabric, and then I glue the whole fabric already stitched in the inside cover. Look at that. Isn't it great? I love, love, love. And I have two pockets, that little pocket in the front and another one at the back. So I only had this little leftover of the fabric, and I thought I should glue it inside to bring a little bit of pink inside and to decorate a little bit this big white spot. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do later on with this junk journal cover, but for sure it is cute to have a little piece added there. So I'm trimming it a little bit more, and I'll just glue it there. I don't want to do any sewing because that would show through. And now I want to do like a closure, and I thought I could use those little flowers fabric. It's matching the fabric that I've been using, that are the bigger flowers in the background. And I did a big stripe of the fabric, and I'm going to use it to do a closure. I could have used the sari silk or anything, but I rarely and probably kind of never used a fabric stripe like that to do my closure. And well, I wanted to try. So I stitched it in the middle, so it's going to be very, very sturdy. Now I'm using one of the bookmark that I converted into like a scrappy pad to fill the pocket. I don't want to add more because I want to see the paper with the modeling paste. I've been using that coffee filter envelope that I did a few videos ago in the back pocket to fill it, and then I just need to do a little bow and adjust the length of that fabric. And I find it's really cute. I love it. So that's it. I mean, we did a whole cover mixing paper, embroideries, fabric, laces, and we have pockets. I love it. Do you? Thanks for watching. Bye bye.